He taught children, sat at the same table with their parents, well-dressed, calm, a man who didn't raise suspicion. But behind that politeness was one of the most brutal murderers of the 20th century. Andrei Chikatilo, teacher, father, killer. He was born on October 16, 1936, in the village of Yabluchne, in the Luhansk region of Soviet Ukraine. It was a time of famine, devastation, and war. His family lived in extreme poverty. His father, Roman Chikatilo, was taken prisoner during World War II, something that led to him being branded a traitor when he returned. His mother, Anna, was harsh and bitter. The family shared a single room, no running water, no toilet, no furniture. Young Andrei slept on the floor. There was a horrifying rumor among neighbors that his older brother Stepan, born before the war, was kidnapped and eaten during the Holodomor famine. Andrei heard that story from his mother. It haunted him for the rest of his life. He was weak, sickly, stuttered, and suffered from bedwetting. At school, he was mocked and bullied. Clumsy, frightened, unable to stand up for himself, he began retreating deeper into his own mind. After high school, he dreamed of becoming a lawyer, but failed to get into university. He later tried to enter Moscow State University and failed again. Rejection followed him everywhere. He developed deep insecurities and a growing hatred toward the world. Military service offered no relief. He served as a communications officer, but even there, he was ridiculed. It was in the army that he realized he couldn't function sexually with women. He had severe erectile dysfunction. That discovery would become a defining part of his violent fantasies. After leaving the military, he worked at a factory, studied by correspondence, and eventually received a teaching degree. He began working as a teacher of Russian language and literature. His first job was at a boarding school for children with special needs. Outwardly, he was strict, pedantic, even disciplined, but children frequently complained. He frightened them, touched them inappropriately, behaved strangely. Several times he was dismissed for suspected misconduct, but nothing was proven. He would simply move on to the next school. In 1971, Chikatilo got married. The marriage was strange. He had virtually no sexual relationship with his wife. Nevertheless, they had 2 children, a son and a daughter. They lived modestly, nearly in poverty. Neighbors considered him aloof, but polite. No one suspected that the man eating dinner with his family was also wandering around at night, looking for children and women to kill. His first murder took place in 1978. His victim was a young girl named Lena Zakotnova. He lured her into the house where he rented a room and strangled her. He suffered a nosebleed during the attack and bore scratches from her resistance. To hide the evidence, he dumped her body in a river. The police arrested someone else, a man named Alexander Kravchenko, who was later executed for Chikatilo's crime. After that, Chikatilo disappeared for 3 years. Then he returned and began killing more frequently. He targeted women, boys, teenage girls. He struck in forests, near highways, and at train stations. He would approach gently, offer help or food, and then attack. His cruelty escalated. He stabbed his victims dozens of times, mutilated their bodies, removed organs, bit them, humiliated them. He didn't kill for sex. He killed for fear and control. That was what excited him. He continued killing for over 12 years. And all that time, he lived with his family, went on business trips, sat down at dinner with his children. No one saw the monster. The total number of confirmed victims, 53 people. Among them were 21 boys, 14 girls, and 18 women. The youngest was just 7 years old. He was finally arrested in 1990. He was caught through the persistence of Major Mikhail Fetisov and investigator Viktor Burakov. There was no hard evidence at first, but eventually Chikatilo broke and confessed. He described the murders in vivid detail, as if reminiscing. There was no regret, only cold calculation. During the trial, Chikatilo behaved erratically. He shouted, undressed, tried to intimidate journalists. But he was declared sane. He was sentenced to death. He never asked for forgiveness. The only thing he asked for was an injured dog to care for in his cell. In 1994, Andrei Chikatilo was executed by a single gunshot to the back of the head. No final words, no goodbye. What hid behind his calm, ordinary face was horror. And that is the most terrifying part.